Good morning. What a beautiful morning. I'm noticing that I'm a little bit nervous, so you have to bear with me a little bit. It will get better as we move in the day. For those who doesn't know me, my name is Bاسم Tërkawi, and I have the honor and the pleasure to be the chairman of, or the organizer of this event today. 4 years ago, I was probably like many of you, I watched the Wild Wild Country documentary. And I did that because of, I respect Oshó. So I was interested to see the documentary because of Oshó. Now, regardless how much that documentary did justice to that man or not, but I found myself gravitated to Shéla, who I think the documentary, in my opinion, focused a lot on the dark side of that time. But regardless, I felt still very attracted to this lady. And I think it's mostly because of how someone at her age was able to do, those who saw the documentary know what she managed to build. And I felt really an urge that I wanted to meet her. I wanted to know her, but I didn't know how. I have no connection, nothing. But I knew that she has this house for elderly people in Switzerland. So I Googled that, and I found an email on the website. I said, I'll give it a shot. So I sent that email, and I said, this is who I am, and I would like to talk to Shéla. I didn't know where would that email go. And 5 minutes after, I received a reply. Yes, thank you, I'm Shéla. What? Shéla? I did not believe that I saw that maybe, an auto-reply or something. I said, I want to call you. She said, that's my number. She replied immediately, and she said, you can call me. It was late night, and we had a beautiful conversation on the phone. I said, I want to see you. She said, come. I said, come where? Basel, in Switzerland. I said, you know what? Next week I'm there. And she said, I will invite you to spend the day in my house. And I took a flight and I went to Basel, and she received me, and I spent a day with her in her house. It was, I don't know how to describe it, inspirational. It was, I learned a lot, but most important, I think I made a friend. And at that time I told her I would love to invite you to Dubai. She said, I will come. And here we go. The day has come, and she is here in Dubai. So I would love to introduce her the way I like to call her, my friend Shéla. Please welcome Shéla to the stage. So welcome to Dubai.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. When was the last time you visited Dubai?
Oh, that was definitely a few years back, about 10 years back.
So I introduced you the way I like to introduce you, as my friend. My question to you is, if someone who never met you, doesn't know you, and they ask you who you are, what would you say?
I would say I'm your friend.
And if they ask you, what do you do in life? Like, what's special about you?
I live life. I'm very special. I have no complaints, no regrets, no do's and don'ts. I live a free life of my heart.
Is it hard these days to live a free life from your heart?
My heart is free.
Up until now.
Always in love.
How do you spend your time these days?
I spend my time the same way I have spent all my life. I work. And work is my help. Work is what keeps me entertained. And work is what I can do something creative in.
And I'm hoping that we will go deeper answers than on the surface. So help me to dive deeper a little bit. What makes you happy? What really makes you happy these days? You've been through a rough journey.
I am happy. I don't know why, or what reason. Happiness, in principle, doesn't have a reason. It is a state of being. You are happy or you're miserable. And if I have a choice, my choice is happiness. One used to tell a beautiful story about a Zen master. A samurai comes to visit Zen master to find out about where the heaven is and where is the hell. Zen master is abusive to samurai verbally, which is dangerous, but he took the risk. And samurai was ready to pull his sword out and cut the head of Zen master. And there, Zen master says loudly, "Here opens the gates of hell." Samurai was intelligent, stopped for a moment, put his sword back, and Zen master says, "Here opens the gates of heaven." And for me, choice is always happiness.
And I get that. And I'm assuming as a human being, there are things that also frustrate you. What makes you angry?
I didn't understand your question.
What makes you angry? What frustrates you?
What makes me angry?
Yeah.
Let's think about it. I can pretend to be angry, and I take anger more like a play. It doesn't affect me to get me going with anger. But sometimes in practical life, you have to show angry. Then I pretend, because sometimes some people only understand anger. But normally I don't live that many such events.
And we're going to talk a little bit about the journey and what happened. And since you mentioned Big One, we will touch base on that. But what I'm curious to know is, being where you are today, what's the dream?
What do you still dream to do?
What do I still dream to do? That's a heavy question. I would like to do many things still, but I'm 71. It's not possible, so I understand my limitations. And as long as I understand my limitations, I know whatever I will do will comply to my dream. So focus is not at the moment on the dream, focus is on what I can undertake. And I have a project in mind to do in India, in my hometown. If I can do it, it would be icing on the cake. If not, we will eat the cake without icing.
Will you be able to share what's that project?
Yes. I was, after 35 years, in 2019 in India. And I went to my hometown to remember the childhood memories with parents, because there is a highlight I still live on a daily basis. And there I saw our little farm area doesn't exist anymore where we grew up. And it has become a filth of concrete and paper and plastic. And I would like to do small environmental project. I would like to do a small charity project for people under the bridge, homeless people, if I can do, and plant some trees. My father and mother used to love trees. So in their honor, do that.
I want to tell them what you do at the moment in details, but I think it's better to hear it from, like, can you talk a little bit about the house that you established in Switzerland?
Yes. I came out of prison and I had nothing. I needed to get back on my feet. The reason I wanted to get back on my feet very quickly, because my prison was more hard for my parents, I assume, than for myself. Because parents suffer the most, though they are free. But the child suffering for parents, they cannot accept, even though they are free. So, only way I can show them that I'm fine, no need for any suffering, is to get back on my feet and show them that I'm living the values that I have learned from them. They have nothing to shame, nothing to worry, and they never shame, they never once asked me what was the true story. And to get back on my feet, how can I do it? And I was missing my parents very much. They were in India, I was in Switzerland, unable to travel. So I saw in old people on the street my parents. And just then I came across a little information that one can take 2-3 old people in one's own house or apartment. So next day I went out and rented a house and did exactly the same. And enjoyed doing the work to help them, take care of them. And within a short time, I grew into 35 people. I took 35 young people with old, and started working, and it became such a beautiful project that now we have 2 homes in Switzerland, 1 home in Mauritius for poor people. And the concept that I have created works. This concept, one can use it at home, or one can create homes through the concept. It is called being there. And the name I have given to these homes, one is in honor of my mother, Matru, another is in honor of Father, Bapu. That's how we used to call our mother, Ba and Bapuji for father.
I think she's playing very humble, so I'm gonna give you my part of the story because I've seen the house. This lady, she is not the manager or the owner of this house. She works like everyone else. She carries the people. She feeds the people. The people with special needs that live in her center. The house is 3 or 4 stories? 3 stories. So you can imagine moving those people up and down and because the main hall is downstairs and they have to come and there is activities and they do. And I was fascinated that first of all, she lives with them. So she has a room like everyone else. And she physically takes care of people. She's doing the admin part, but also she's doing the day-to-day work. And one of the stories that I got to know is that she was on holiday on Mauritius, right? And then, can you tell them someone woke to you?
I was having vacation with my older sister, whom I had not seen during the time in prison, etc. And we made a vacation to spend quality hours. We were sitting in a coffee after arriving at a hotel, and the waiter started small talk with me, where do you come from, what do you do? And I told him that I have care homes in Switzerland. And then I asked him, and do you have in Mauritius care homes also? How do they function? And his answer was very curious. He said, we have ashrams. I said, ashram? I am a person who knows ashrams and lives in ashram. And you have ashrams? Where is such ashram? I wanted to see it right away. He said, 250 meters outside the hotel. He gave me direction. I went there. Immediately I finished coffee and went there. My sister said, you go, I don't want to come. And I went alone. I was horrified. Somebody was walking with open catheter, urine on the floor, people were not clean, the condition of the room. It was humanly unacceptable. Animals in our homes live much finer, and these are people. My vacation was no more quality vacation. My sister remained mostly in the hotel and she was happy. I went to see other friends and I didn't find a better position. Then I went home and said, if I'm going to say something or criticize or complain, then I have to do something. Do not complain if you're not ready to make the change. And for me, it was important. And I was already 65 then. So my other sister, when I returned back to Switzerland, who lives with me, I told her my idea, and first she did Pitai. You all understand what Pitai is of me. And I said to her, if I don't do it now, I don't have that many years in life now yet. You will have arguments for me all the time. And truly I did. And she said, do what you have to. And the next day I went out to Mauritius and started organizing. It took me 14 months to get the government permission. but simultaneously I prepared the location house because there were some city requirements also that we had to take care of it. And I did it not to sudden residential care that exists today. Yeah.
We are in YPO gathering today, so I think it's valid to talk little business. And the way I would love to approach this is when you went to Bagwan to the US, you were 23, 22?
21.
21.
And 22 few days later.
Okay. So how at 22 years old is able to, I don't know what to call, move mountains. You literally, in my opinion, established, I don't know if you would agree with me, a mini country that has its own road system, infrastructure, airport, and you name it, the rest. I guess my question is, what's the inner resources that you have in you? We all do business. We all have our dreams. We want to establish companies and want to do startups. But sometimes we struggle even on that scale. And maybe we doubt ourselves, like, am I doing right? Shall I go? Shall I not go? Do I need to consult more people? 22. How?
It's a very important question. At 22, I fell in love with a man called Laqaء. And that is what I did. I truly fell in love that I could move mountains. But one was my inspiration. If he is behind my back, I can do anything. There was never a doubt in my mind that he would ask me to do something that I did not have the potential for. It was that trust, that deep trust coming out of love. I only had yes in me. I didn't think of pros and cons. I didn't think of, oh, will I be able to do it? Concept of burnout, I have learned just in last few years, because everybody has a burnout in the world. We forget we are burning the world, that we forget. But we all have burnout. No. Why? You have been given an opportunity to do something. Take it and run for it. That was the attitude that I had. And sometimes I forget that I'm getting older. I still have the same attitude. I'm every time shocked when somebody tells me, Sheila, that in this person's house nearby, this person has they feel burnout and they have been written sick, etc. I shake my head. You are all entrepreneurs, you are all Unternehmer, but you are all creators. And you must have that one clarity. You can do anything. There's no stop to it. Because creative force is a pure spring that comes from the Himalayas, pure water from the Alps. It should not be stopped. And somewhere, deep down, that intuition was there, that the love I feel for the one will carry me over. If you remember, Bاسم, when you came to visit me, we spoke of intuition.
Yes.
That was your question. What is intuition? Intuition is what we are born with. All witches are intuition. They function from intuition. All females have intuition. All men, when they don't think from their ego or their brain only, they have intuition. Intuition is our basic gut feeling. That gut feeling that gives us the clarity.
So you said three things that stood out for me in what you said. I asked you what kept you moving. You said the love, and then trust, and intuition. Actually, I'm going to ask a question about intuition since you spoke, and then I will come to love and trust. So what you're saying is follow your intuition. What if one do follow their intuition and that end up taking them to the wrong direction?
Consult them. Then you find a way out. Because you have deeper intuition to find the way out. There are no situations one cannot stop. Have the confidence and have the ability to reflect. Reflection, self-reflection is very important and enduring. Self-reflection should be a necessity. My father used to say when we were children, learn introspection. What does it mean, learn introspection? Look within and respect. The combination of diving in yourself and respecting yourself. This introspection should not be attached with your desires. These are pure feelings that come from the center of your being. And they will never lead you wrong. Today, after almost 40 years, I can say my decision to walk away from a man I loved so deeply was the right decision. And ups and downs I went through, unknown to the world, not just to me. It was the right move. In love, we become weak. We take love for granted. We take love as a weakness. But love was my biggest strength. That is the reason why I could move mountains. And if I would have continued at a point of clear conflict with the one, then love would have become just security and egoism for me. And that is what I could not allow myself to be. It was love that I felt. It is the love I even today feel. There is no changing it. And this is why I sit for hours and hours in front of different people all over the world, all kinds of journalists. They ask me the same questions, and without tiring, I just want to do. Because what I felt was the ground was something out of this world. It was rare. It was a rare poem you cannot live with.
I'll give me 10 minutes and then I'll open the floor for questions. I get everything you said about love and the trust in return. If you want to take that and translate it to us as business people here, what does that mean? How do we, because you're saying when we have that love, it gives us power to move mountains. And I get in the relationship between you and Big One what that meant then. But how can we, as business people, take that benefit from that power?
It is a very good question, because in business, just as much needed as in my old event, being together with the one and creating the project, that respect the people who help your limitations. We all have limitations. We have character limitations. We have financial limitations. We have practical limitations. On top of it, we have bureaucracy. So to harmonize all the elements that one requires, it is important to know that you are the same as everyone who wants with you. There is no difference. You be there for them, and they be there for you. It is a give and take. If somebody drops a glass of water near your face and your expensive brand-new suit gets ruined. Don't react. Respond by bending down and try to pick up the broken glass, but no one gets hurt with you. And if the person who dropped the glass has hurt themselves, then first think of his pain and hurt and help him there, and then help him to. I was in Kenya with friends and family. My family is my helper people. A famous doctor happens to be my cousin. I was invited by him to go to a Mombasa club, apparently, a polo club or something like that. And I shamed myself, and I'm not a person who shames often. The way he spoke was a very good. It took my heart. Why? Because you are a famous doctor. You can put this man who is doing his honest work, do you not gently request him, please finish his business? Or is it your alcohol that is going in your head and you think you are too good? All of you frequently visit restaurants, I assume. Just a small point. Be observant. And then awareness will change whole mode of your life. And it will help you create a synthesis with your pain. And bear in mind, he gets the first credit, without them you cannot function. And when credit is, you give the team the benefit. And when losses are there, you as a
leader,
you take the losses. And this is what I did when the blame came for that insurance management. I didn't blame anyone. I don't blame anyone. I was the head of it. Whether I did it or not did it is not an issue. Issue is I was the leader, I was responsible for seeing that everything went well. And I did my best.
It's amazing how after all those years, even if one wants to not bring Big One when we talk about you, but it's almost impossible. He's part of the story. And my question is, Big One's or Osho's work still going on as we speak now. It did not die. There's a lot of people still follow, believe. My question, and I know you don't like me saying that, but I told you this before and you said no. But I truly believe that as much as you followed Osho, Osho also followed you. But because you paved the road. I mean, he was the man doing his work, but you allowed the infrastructure for that to flourish.
It is true, I was the practicality of the time. But upon vision, I felt it and feel it.
Great. And on that, does it pain you today that you're no longer part of that story that's still unfolding?
No. In fact, I'm happy. I sometimes think that one created this tendency to protect you. No, truly. Truly. It is very interesting if you observe correctly. Bhagwan was surrounded by elites of the world, intellectuals of the world, people with PhDs and master's degrees all around him. It's strange. It's strange when the monument came down on the dust. They reacted like humility. They burned Sheila's clothes by burning my clothes. They burned me like this burning like mutilated witches. It should be they get all kinds of situations to me. They talk from Harvard and Yale University of California, etc.
Actually, sorry to interrupt you. I have I never told you before. But, so I go to Pune. I spend time in the ashram from time to time. And I get to meet the trustees. And I got to know them. And one day, I'm not going to mention names, I was talking to one of them. And I had this intuition that something like peace has to come between you and them. I got this intuition. So I told this man, I said, I want to talk to you about something. And then someone who I developed a good relationship with. So he said, yeah, sure. And I said, when are we going to put an end to the story of Sheila and bring peace? And he immediately said, stop there. Don't talk about it. Like as if this is a taboo. Why? From your point of view, why?
One arranged for me.
Yeah, but from their point of view, why are they afraid? Or what are they afraid of?
I would tell them what I think of them, which I did before I left. And I think that is the concept something to do with it. Of course, I was not there, so I cannot say, but my intuition.
Yeah, I can sense there are questions here. This is my last question. Actually, it's not a question. It's a proposal or a request. If Bhagwan was here now, and actually I want to pretend that Bhagwan is here, what would you like to talk to him? What would you tell him? And actually, I want you to talk to the chair and talk, but talk.
Why should I talk to a chair? Bhagwan lives in my heart.
So what would you tell him? If you want to have a conversation with him now, what would you say?
So, the first you have been everything.
Drug. What else? What else?
That was my main dispute when I found it.
Anything else you want to tell him? Any request? Any other request?
No, when people have it, I don't say it's not an issue.
So only that one?
Yeah. He altered his character through surgery, and now I can confront it because I got with some contradiction people firsthand, and I know how to characterize him.
So the only conversation you will have with Bhagwan is you will tell him, stop the drugs that you have against him. Okay, I want to play again. This is going to sound cheesy, but play it with me a little bit. Okay?
Oh, I play all games.
I want to change seats with you. Okay. You're going to sit on my seat, and I want you to be Bhagwan.
Oh, no.
Come. Now you're Bhagwan and I'm Sheila. You just told him, stop the drugs that you have administered. What would you answer as a Bhagwan? Not as a Sheila. Forget Sheila for a moment.
Okay. His answer to me was...
No. Now.
Now?
Yeah. Talk to me. I'm Sheila.
Difficult.
I know.
Difficult for me to say I'm Bhagwan because...
Try.
You're right.
Why you believe I'm right?
I find it why Bhagwan says I'm being right because I love you.
So he would tell you, I love you? After all of that.
Okay.
It seems love is... are you in love, by the way?
Very much.
Yeah?
Every day.
No, I mean, you know what I mean, with a person.
Oh, you mean this man?
Yeah.
Old man, yes, past lover.
No, is there a lover at the moment?
No.
Okay. Are you looking?
Like a man.
Okay.
No, I'm not looking. You want to come back to you?
Okay, let's do it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
What happens outside should be connected with inside. I have been asked about social media lately often and influencing others. I feel just there, complying with this social media and becoming part of the influencing culture you do in your life. Because the true values of life, we all know within ourselves, we only need to listen. It doesn't take more than few seconds for you. Finish your day. Before you close your eyes, just look within, and you will know what are right and wrong, or what would have been better. You don't require more than few seconds. It happens at the time of death. In my business, you see people on a deathbed. At times, some people have problem dying. Why? Because at the last moment, the whole life was like a film. as there are issues that you cannot resolve, which are very close to you and your heart. I say often among families, the mother has conflict with her daughter and comes down. She doesn't understand anymore because brain has Alzheimer's. But she understands when daughter sits with open heart both, but hand and tears filled. And it is like that. And every moment we die. And just before those of us sit of peace. That is what I call my father's life in this country. I'm going to tell you an incident that happened in prison in Santiago. I was moved from California to Santiago for reasons of prison management. I arrive in Santiago prison and I'm taking the same lift. There was a social workers, we call them social workers, each prisoner is assigned to social worker, who was riding with me. And he looks at me and asks me, what are you booked here for? This is prison term, what are you booked here for? It's a reservation, which company books you here, you know? So I laughed and I said, I'm booked for laundry list of heinous crimes. He looked at me. He says, but you don't have a bone of criminality in your body. I said, you want to see my laundry list and go in your offices, you will see my file. He said, I work here 20 years. I see the person and their body language and I know who is a criminal and who is not. I said, then you must be right. I don't have to defend myself on this account because it has nothing to do with me. As earlier I said, I was in position of taking responsibility. So if something has gone wrong, I take responsibility. And I serve gracefully my imprisonment. If you would like to know more about the charges and things, I write in my first autobiography, Don't Kill Him. Don't kill him, meaning don't kill Bhagwan. Read it and I speak about my criminality.
Right, what you said is we started on, I mean, I can talk about reflection. I just wanted to understand how you evolved.
It is difficult to understand events. They are complex. And definitely in 5 sentences or 10 sentences, you will never be able to get the clear gist of the situation because you never lived in that situation. This is why my recent book, I begin a chapter, I think, I wrote it in 2018, I don't remember all of it, but I talk about judgment. Do not judge. Because we look at situations through our perspective. And reality has its own perspective. But still, read it, you might enjoy the story anyway. Two very important things. Judgment and expectations. Avoid judgment, then you will have no expectations. Avoid expectations, and you will be happy and away from disappointment and depression. Judgment. I have no regret. But choices I still make for myself. And these choices are made from my heart. If I would have remained with the one then, it would have been a wrong choice. I could not help the one with this conflict. He didn't want my help. He said, Sheila, you don't interfere. Let these people do what they are doing. You stay out of it. Being his lover, being his secretary who manages everything, it is impossible to stay out of it. Then I have to resolve the conflict by making a choice. If I remain there because I love him and life would be easier with him because I know him for 14 years, etc., that would not be correct. There would be corrupt. I would trade my love for comfort. Living was the right choice because love I felt for him was not my weakness. And when it is not weakness, I can love him no matter where I go. And I made the right choice.
Outside. But I want to close with asking you, I hope you will live as much as you wish to live. But and maybe you already have wrote a will, private or family or whatever. But if you want to write a will now in front of all of us, what would that include? Give us a few words from your will.
I leave my love to everyone indiscriminately. It may be my family or it may not be my family. In fact, last month, after a long time, we 6 brothers and sisters got together. Who knows what comes in the future? My one brother suffers with severe Parkinson, and he's 80-year-old. And when people asked me who was visiting, I said, my fake family was visiting me. My real family lives with me, and fake family was visiting me, So
indiscriminately. I leave love behind, and my daughter understands me very well, and she understands, she's very proud of me. I wonder why, because I didn't take good care of her, but anyways, we live that theme, and I'm sure that she will do things of her interest, and she will make my interest her interest to also integrate them. But I think love is what I want to leave behind for the world, and no discrimination of any sort. Of any sort, discrimination. And there is a big expectation. I know I will be disappointed, but I will still accept depression and disappointment from it, but I won't.